Hello, in this tutorial, this is the fourth video of the tutorial and probably the third one for this specific series about front-end framework and Hydra inside webpage. I'm going to explain, I'm going to make a page that is basically looks like a to-do app. That's like my inspiration. So the thing is, to-do app seems like the most common example when it comes to the front-end framework. Like if you go to YouTube and look for React, Vue, all these tutorials, then you would probably see making a to-do app because it has basic functionality of the web page and it doesn't need to have proper database. You can do it locally on the browser and so on. But still, it's functional, quote unquote. But I will make it a little bit different in this tutorial because it's Hydra tutorial. And as I'm typing here, what I'm going to do is you can type the code and evaluate it. Plus, you can go back to other code and execute. And just like to-do app, you have this button that you can delete the old ones. I mean, this is really simple, and it's not gonna save the edits for now. You can add it with localStorage or something, but I'm not gonna go into that. I'll just keep it very simple. But still, you can be creative to use this as a tool for live coding, for example. Like you just code something and then you can save the progress this way. I mean, the editor is not that great in this case, but you can do something like this, and then okay, I liked the one before, so I go back like this. Maybe I reverse the order so the new ones come at the top. But anyways, this is the idea, and this is my cheat sheet. I mean, I just made it by myself, of course, and I'll start with the example from tutorial 2 because that's, let's say, this is like the basic one I made. Like last time I made visual poetry, but this one has very simple, oops, this is not a good UI, very basic functionality with the sliders, and it's kind of easy to hack. So I start this as a template. So what I'm going to do is, well, maybe first I enlarge this editor and I'm gonna remix project. And you can also do the same thing. You can go back to, I mean, I should put a link to the second tutorial's glitch editor, so you can just go there, and if you're logged into glitch, probably you don't have to be like logged in. You can make a temporary project that evaporates in a few days, but if it's better if you open an account on glitch. I'm not affiliated with glitch, but they've been nice, that's for sure. And I'm not promoting glitch, but well, I am doing it because it's a nice product, I would say. It's very friendly. There are some glitches literally, but it's a nice tool, so I really like it. Of course, you can start it on VS Code or whatever environment you like, but yeah, that's not the scope of this tutorial. Alright, so as always, I mean, like this last tutorials, this time I just edit the script.js, which is a nice thing about the Torus framework. And I'm not affiliated with the Torus framework either, but I think it's a nice tool. I encountered some issues with, mostly for like debugging, because the error messages in Torus is a little bit weird. It doesn't really say what is wrong, and I think that's the kind of the weakness of this library. But I think if more people use it, I can also we can submit issues, pull requests to the library, and I think it would be nice to make this project a little bit more vibrant. I mean, it is like used by the author themselves, but it would be nice to have a community around it. That's just my personal thing. You can also use React or Vue or whatever. Alright, so where do I start? So again, just a recap. I don't need this, and maybe I edit this Hydra. I like last time I did detect audio false so that it doesn't ask for the microphone every time. So this is basically a Hydra app, and I'm not gonna change it this time. Like this just sits there, responsible for rendering. I'll just leave it like that. And next one, control. This time I don't think I'm gonna use sliders, but maybe I keep it, maybe not. I'm not sure. For now, I'm gonna. So everything is contained in this awesome app, or maybe yeah, I'll just leave it as awesome app, or maybe to do app, whatever. I just keep it like that. Last time I edited it, but I keep it like this. Inside this, I initialize Hydra, initialize the sliders. But this time I'm gonna just comment it out so that there's nothing in here. And maybe the font is a little bit too big, so I'll put 1.5 EM. I actually don't know what's the difference between REM and EM. Like, it seems they say, you know, there's a little bit of difference in the size, but I just type EM because it's shorter. And yeah, we know that it's awesome already. And as a recap, we have this single DOM inside, I mean, the parent DOM, as like representing this awesome app, which contains two DOMs. One is control that shows up on the top because of Z index, the control Z index. And the nice thing, again, styles are also included in the same object, so it's easy to refer to. You have this background color. Maybe salmon is a little bit too much, so this time I changed it to RGBA, 255, 255, 0.9. Yeah, Z index is 1, so it comes on top of the Hydra object, or virtual DOM, which contains the canvas. Okay, so this time there's nothing yet because the sliders are gone, and also this code is not executing because the control parameters are not defined, because I took out the sliders. I'll just keep it like this, or maybe this is a little bit too much, so I'll just take whatever. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna just copy the slider element because it's kind of nicely done. I can use this as a template, but this time I make a Textbox element, or maybe yeah, let's say it's Textbox element, the Textbox element. And I don't need label. This one I'm imagining like it has the text box, like input field, and a little button that you can say execute the code. Here I'll just have text object, string object that contains what's input in the text. And styles, probably I don't need anything for now. Maybe I say font family is monospace because it's code. It's nice to see monospace code. Okay, so here, so again, all the time you need a parent DOM element in Torus. That's how Torus works. Like JDOM is single virtual DOM object, so it's a good, I think, practice to have div that's surrounding everything. And we have input. This time it's going to be a text, and maybe it's already good to say, yeah, like just leave it very simple. It's a input type text on input, which doesn't do anything for now. And I will initialize this text box in awesome app. Oops. Is new text box element. Yeah, and just show it so that we know it's actually happening. This, and again, yeah, it's a text box dot node. Like whenever you create a, like JDOM, you can input directly inside JDOM, but if you have the Torus styled element, you have to say the styled elements instance dot node. I know it's confusing, and the error is not really helpful. So this is the part that I was like often stuck at the beginning, but once you get used to it, I think it's good. And I think there's some room for improvement in the code to show like error messages to say like what's wrong, what can be which part of the JDOM is wrong and stuff, because it's I think if you're good experienced programmer, maybe you probably have like ways to hack into it and find where the bug is, but even if you're like really skilled, sometimes this really long error message without saying like anything specific, that's not really helpful. So maybe like if I really want to push this tutorial and using Torus more often, that's something I might contribute, or at least I would open an issue to say, hey, we should work on this. Okay, so what's next? Now, yeah, it was a bit of a detour, but so the text box is here. You can type here, and now I'm going to add a button, and say, I don't know what eval. I don't know what's the right word. I said go in the other example, but maybe eval is okay. I don't know. And here, so basically, I think it's easy if we track the text using input elements on input event handler. Console log. I know that it's events target dot value. So whenever you type, let's open the inspector or developer tools, and hello, and now you see that all the text is here. So what we need is, because this is happening separately from Torus, I want to say this text is basically this e dot target dot value. So we keep track of what's happening here. So we don't have to go like every time, okay, we have to refer to the input element and take the value. It's, you can do that way as well, but it's not the best way, or I don't know, it depends, but it gets, a bit of a spaghetti. So I do it like this, so it's more object oriented. And now I add on on click of the button. And one thing, I don't know if I explained before, but you can either put double quote around the value or function, or in Torus, actually, you don't have to. It will just complement. Like this works as well. But I mean, I usually put it like if it's something like this or class, because I feel it's a little bit more, you're used to see something like this when you write HTML. I mean, this is a proper way of writing HTML. So I usually do it like this, but sometimes if it's on click, and then especially when you have this $sign bracket, it's kind of nicer if you don't have the double quote. But that's just preference. And here I need let's just keep the event. Again, this is a function, and this function will be executed when you click on the button. And what I want to do is to say, okay, this is the bad example, but I do it this alt text. Maybe it's worth saying, if you go to mdn eval, it has a big note that says you should never use it. Warning: executing JavaScript from a string is an enormous security risk. It is far too easy for a bad actor to run arbitrary code when you use eval. See, never use eval! Exclamation mark below. Yes, so never use eval, but I use it because it's artists don't care. I mean, if I actually make something for like targeting more people, probably I'll think about it, but this is a tutorial, and it's not meant to be saving anything or running someone else's code. I mean, this was actually a problem for the project with Floor Glitch Me, because at first I was thinking, okay, I can just send code to everyone and like do eval, but that's probably like the worst security wise, it's the worst idea, so I didn't do it. Anyways, this time I do it, but just to note that never use eval. Okay, so what does it do? So now the input field is tracked as this.text, and if you click on the button, it will evaluate that. What does it mean? So if I have this, and right now it doesn't have listener for the enter key, so it doesn't do anything if you enter, but if you have to do eval, and it does this. Actually, I don't know why font family monospace. Is it monospace? No, mono. Actually, yeah, it should be monospace font family. I don't know why it's not doing it that way. But anyways, like, you can change the parameters here, and you see that it's evaluating, which is already great. You can basically live code with this. I mean, it's not probably enjoyable, but everything is possible in live coding, I would say. Yeah, if I wrap it with input tag, it's doing it nice, but the spacing is a bit weird. I don't know why. Input and button. I mean, button doesn't have to be monospaced, so I leave it like this. Okay, what's next? Now, what I promised is that when you evaluate something, now it's happening, but I want to see the history of it. So I will add a new class, which is again a Torus style component. So I just copy this thingy, and I'll simply name it code. So what does it do? It initializes with a code string. I mean, I thought it's not good to say code here because object and string gets a little bit mixed up. So I say code string is code string, and yeah, it's going to be monospaced because it's code. And here DOM is, let's say we have a div that has a text saying the code. Now what does it do? Before adding any logic, maybe I will say this code. So in the awesome app, because it has everything in it, and the code that will be listed will be a list or array. So I make an array and simply just say push new code or C out, or maybe not, it's not with one gradient. Okay, so eventually I want this to happen while when you type it. Oh, actually I just noticed that I'm in the way. Maybe I think I should just move myself out because here you don't really see anything important, and now I feel I want to edit the OBS, but I'll just leave it like this. It's okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just to show the code that the code is working, and it's the same logic as how I did with the sliders. I think I explained before, you can write like close map, like maybe you're more familiar with function code, because map is something that returns each element, like it kind of converts each element to something else. So I need to return new code dot node. I'm getting mixing up things. Yeah, So this is just iterating. I mean, it's the same thing as this. So you can just say, you can actually just copy this, which is saying slider, but actually it works because slider is just a variable name. So code. This is, one-liner is nice. If you, I mean, also, like, if this is like completely, weird to you, you can just declare I should do const codes, which is an array, and you can do for const code of this. Again, this naming is really bad, but I just do it like this. Pose push code dot. No, I mean, it's the same thing. You just do it like this, and then you prepare the codes, and you put it in there, because you cannot have for loop inside the string literal. So, like, this doesn't work. This will not show anything because it failed to compile the code. So, that's JavaScript code, the entire thing, the script. So it failed. But this works. Like, you have to do all the kind of preparation before returning the JDOM, because it's basically a string literal, which is actually just a function. Anyways, what am I saying? So now we have this, and maybe I keep it like this, like always, like gradient is there, so it's kind of nice to, like, it's easy for debugging as well. I don't have to type gradient out every time. So the idea is that now I want this to show up. Like, if I change it, of course it's updated in Hydra because it does evaluate function, but I want this text to show up here. How would I do it? Most of the things are here already, but it's a little bit tricky because we have like different layers of the application, like the objects. Like, we have this awesome app that's containing everything, and then inside that we have different codes and the input field. So I would say the awesome app should take care of it. So it should have add code, which is actually, like, you can do it different ways, but I think this is nicer. Just to say, or I think the even better way is to have another, let's say, controller app that is responsible for just for this part of the rendering, and it will take care of what's happening. Or maybe like you have the codes as an object, but it's a simple example, and I'll just keep it simple. So what I'm going to do is add code will take code string as argument, and const like code is new code string. So it's basically doing the same thing as how I did here. So basically I need to push it. Can I push front? I don't know. I know this works. I don't know if there's push front push front shift. I don't know how it works, but basically this will push it to the first element of an array, and this spread operator, which is kind of new thing. Well, it's not really new anymore, but more like a recent function, that operator, that functionality of JavaScript, that it basically treats this code, because this is an array. So if you do this, it will just have code, and then inside array there's another array, and if you repeat it, then you have like array inside an array and inside array. So you don't want that. You want to do ... 3 dots to do spread it out literally into chunks. And that's it. The last thing, always, if the UI element has changed, you have to do render to refresh it, which is different from React, again, because React kind of keep tracks of what's happening inside the virtual DOM, and it will render by itself. Or Vue also does it like that, I think. Torus is very simple, so you have to keep track of that by yourself, which is also nice. You can prevent some wrong things to happen, like you know that this is happening here, and it's not going to happen in the background and have infinite loop, for example. I mean, you could make infinite loop anyways, but that's another story. Okay. Yeah, you can actually write this render inside the compose, which will, because compose is called when you render something, so that will make infinite loop, but so you don't want that, except when you have this on input, on click, then you can have render inside compose, because that will happen in a different thread, different event. I think I'm talking too much and I forgot what I'm doing. Now, okay, add code is there. So what I want to do, and then I think also they all should keep track of the app, because we want to call that app, not through the global variable. I mean, you can also do that, but it's not so nice. So I keep track of the awesome app. So textbox element, now it has app, which is called this inside awesome app, because this is app. I know it's confusing. And when you have new code, this and this part as well, you pass this as an argument. Now, so I want to call add code when I eval. Eval is here. So simply, and I don't do like error detection and stuff, which would be needed. You can write something wrong and it will create error. It should show error somewhere, or it should not update here, but I'll just I'm not going to do it for now, because that's just extra layers. What I need is I need to refer to the app and add code. I think I talked too much for adding the code. And I think I needed this. No, I don't need it, because add code is calling this function inside the awesome app, and it will take care of initializing or instantiating the code. Does it work actually like this? Yeah, and it goes on top, which is good, which I didn't think about, but it's doing. We're almost there. There are two things I want. I want to have click to run the code, and click to remove the code, which are actually quite easy in object, because it's object oriented, so you don't have to associate, okay, this part of the code refer to this and that, because it's kind of functionality is contained in a single class in itself, mostly. Like add code was kind of a bit of a mess, like refer to awesome app and refer to code and the text box, but most of other things, I mean, this remove will be a little bit of a mess again. Easy thing, evaluate the code. I'm going to do it. So this part is called code, class code, and I simply need to have, I can do on click, but you know what, like I think it's easier to do an anchor instead. And the problem with this anchor is that you always have to have href, and the easiest way is to do like sharp or hash, so that it kind of appends, you know, like the path. I can show it like this. So it will open, like this is URL, it's a bit small, but it appends the sharp at the end. But you know, it's kind of, it's made for like going to different header, different part of the page, like jump to like this section of the page, so it doesn't reload the page. and it still makes this clickable, so that's useful. And actually we can embed more information in this, but that's another story. Okay, what I wanted is on click, and I'm gonna skip the double quote. What do I need here? Simple. I just need to evaluate, which again, you shouldn't do it, but in this tutorial I do it. And the code is this code string. So, like you can think, like if you can do so many weird things. Like it doesn't have to be Hydra actually. Like if you do like alert hi, it does make alert. And this is kind of cute, funny, but you can do some really bad things with this, especially when it's shared with other people and stuff. So you don't want that. Anyways, now I have this and I click on it. Now you can access the history of your live coding, which is great. I want that. Well, it should update this part. I'm not going to do that. I'll leave it up to you. Okay, so there's another thing that I wanted to remove code. And in order to do this, that was in the awesome app. I added just new function called remove code. I don't know how to do it before until I implement the button in the code. So again, this class code is responsible for this part. Like every single line is each of them are a single code object. And here, basically this is rendering that clickable thing. So I just add another thing here that is button. I can do cross like X, but maybe I find some kind of nice emoji. No, how to do it? No, this here. Maybe this one, kind of nice. Yes, so now we have this emoji here, which doesn't do anything at the moment. So I want to do on click. Oops. I'll just put one liner this time. This app remove code, and we have to tell which code we want to remove. This one. Simple. But again, it's not implemented, so it doesn't do anything. But let's see what I do here. So now I get the code object here, and we have to search for it by this goes index of code. And I actually need to check what's the return, like what's returned with index of. Return value is, yes, so the first index of the element in the array if it's found. If it's not found, it's -1. So we say if index is more than or equal to 0, because if it's -1, it was not found. I mean, it should not happen, but something wrong can happen every time, so it's better to keep it like this. And this calls splice. Basically, you just delete it. This is how you delete it. And the length, like how many objects you want from the index, like just one element. So only the index will be deleted. That's not it, because again, always render when you update the UI, like what's affecting the UI. Great. Let's still do that. I want this. No, I don't like this one. I delete it. I delete it. I delete it. Great. And what else did I say? I think that's it. It's been 35 minutes. Maybe I add one more thing, which I want to update this part when I click on the code, which is not easy. No. I mean, what is the MDN input text? And it's always, you know, there are different tutorials online. Go to MDN, which sometimes it's not really nice, like how it's written, but like you should start here every time. Like even if you don't understand, like go to MDN first. I mean, that's how I do it. Like, okay, I'm like, I have no idea. I just open some other tutorials, but like every time I start with MDN. It's just a habit, you know. It's better to go to the official document every time, like not just MDN, but you know, if you're looking for React, you should go to the React document, even if you don't understand, because you know, like I think it's a nice habit to have, so that you don't find, you know, maybe old document or anything. You know where you start with. So what is the what I want? Oh yeah, placeholder. No, it's not the placeholder, but it's the value I wanted to set using text inputs. I actually don't know. Does it update? Okay. Is it like value? Oh yeah. So you just have to set the value. So now the code. No, not the code. It's a Textbox element. So may I add another function, maybe, or for sure. Set value. This text is v, and this render, because you know it's inside the input field, but it's still editing the UI element. So I'm gonna render it to update. Yeah, maybe render is not a good name. I mean, I'm not the author of Torus, but like it's more like a refresh. You can think of it as refresh. And now here, value is, what was it? This dot text. Let me see that it's not affecting the functionality itself. And now I just have to set call set value from code when it's clicked, which happens when it's an anchor. We know we added eval, and after evaluating, we need to say this. This is not really nice, but we refer to the awesome app, and awesome app has this text box and set value, which is this code string. Probably there are better ways to do it, or maybe not, I don't know. And if you click on it, this is updated too, which is nice, because then you can do something like this, and you know, okay, I didn't like it, I go like this, and then, you know, add, this is not really interesting particularly, but maybe it's interesting. I like it, but maybe I liked it more, or maybe I like it this one. You know, it's actually super nice as a tool, as a live coding. I didn't think that I make something useful in this tutorial. No, this it's not right. I make something useful. Maybe I change input to, is it text area? I don't know what it's called. Text area MDN. It's a text area element. It's something else. Maybe not. For now. I mean, I just write short code, so it's okay. or at least I can say that Textbox element input width is something big. Yeah, 100% of the 300 pixels. I don't know how big it is. Yeah, somewhat decent. And of course, like, you know, the sad thing is like it loses the data when you refresh. You can use local storage, but you know, I'm not gonna explain now. You can search for local storage in the end. Yeah, window.localStorage that you can use to save it in the storage of the browser. Should I do it? Yeah, let's say. So basically this is something I want to do. Every time a code is updated, add code or remove code, I want to say local storage set item codes is this codes. Same thing for remove code, but this is now it's just writing, so whatever you do, well, this doesn't work. It will write in the local storage, but you have to read it to use it. So yeah, get item. That's it. So inside awesome app, when it's initializing, I'm doing like this, but let's say this goes is local storage get item codes. Was it? Yep. So this is the key. You have to use always same key. And if this goes is undefined, is it undefined that it's returned when you never saved anything? Get item, get item, get item. I don't know. Get item. Return value null is returned when the key doesn't exist. So null. So if you know it was not found, it will save. It will return null. Okay, now this is broken. I should not have done this. I clear it, reload, see the error. This code push is not a function because why? What is codes? Does it have to be a string? Oh, because the code is a string. Okay, so this is not gonna work because I was trying to save an object instead of a JSON. Like this is like you can save a JSON, but not an object, which I was trying to save. So map code string. So instead of saving the objects, I will save the code string. Okay, this is really, I'm just gonna do it quick because I am not gonna explain everything. So instead of saving the code, I'm saving the strings, array of a string, like converting with the map function. And then here, stored code, this goes, and what I'm going to do is this goes is stored code is an array, so you want to do map new code as this. And probably this doesn't work because the object is still saved. I don't know, like you can go to the settings of the browser, local string, local storage, and then clear, what this domain, Feline, Picayune bookcase was saving on the browser, but I'll just say, is it clear? I saw it here. Clear. Okay, yeah, it clears entire thing, and I don't want to clear it anymore now. And this is not something I want to happen, because every time it's going to add gradient again and again and again. So I'll just put it here. Like when there's nothing in the stored code, I'll initialize with this. And whatever I do, reload. It failed because stored code map is not a function. Stored code map is why not? What was a stored code? It's a string, so you have to do if stored code was not null, then stored code is stored, and this is not gonna work in some cases if the code has comma, so I don't know how to fix that, because you can have comma in many cases. localStorage.clear. What I would do is instead I just save it as a JSON string. JSON parse stored code, and in here when I save it, I say JSON stringify, so the array will be stringified as a string, and this should work. Where is it? Now I don't want to clear it. So right now, like null is stored, and then yeah, let's say I'll see later out eval reload, and what's happening is that local storage it's actually just a string. So I was like trying to do something really wrong with the local storage. Every time you have to make a string with let's say JSON stringify, and now it's like this. So if you put this into JSON parse, you can kind of defreeze what's inside the storage and have something like this. Or let's say shape out, evaluate, reload. It's still there. I mean, again, if something is stored code, it should evaluate this instead of evaluating oscillator here, but that's that's your assignment that you can do. I did a lot already, way more than expected when I started filming this. So enjoy, have fun with this example. You can you can do live coding performance with this. I mean, you have to somehow make this a bit tinier, but if you make the window bigger, maybe it's fine. Yeah, but the code can be longer and longer. Anyways, you can do a lot of fun stuff with this. Basically, this is kind of the approach I take when I do like live coding, quote unquote. Like last video I made, like it's basically working with HTML and CSS with JavaScript. And you can automate this, so many things you can do. So please explore a lot. If you have questions, please write in the comment down here. Also, if you have suggestions, if you made something you want to share, it would be great if you can write it, or yeah, just send it to me by email or whatever. And thanks for watching. Please like the video. Again, it will keep my motivation to do this thing. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Thank you.